Ciao a tutti! Today we are at day 14 of our wine quarantine and we're going to be talking about a super exciting subject, Prosecco. But, before I move on, I forgot my glass. Valentina, portami un bicchiere! Thank you. This is my bubbly Valentina. So, today, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about Prosecco. But before we get into Prosecco, we have to understand the name of the grape that makes Prosecco. It's called Glera. That's a very old name, has been existing for a very long time, and we all know about the super popularity of wines called Prosecco out there in the market. So, supposedly the name Prosecco originated from a very small village located in the Carso Triestino, so basically in the furthest northeastern part of Friuli, where there is this small town. Although the grape before was called Prosecco, then eventually the name was changed to Glera, just to avoid that, you know, the name Prosecco could be used anywhere internationally. When we look at Prosecco as a wine, but most important is a Glera, we know there are two main biotypes. One is called Tondo and one is called Lungo, based on the shape of the actual berry, although the Tondo is the most important, the one most commercially used. Prosecco as a vine, or Glera as a vine, basically buds early and ripens late, so it needs a fairly long, extensive season. As a matter of fact, harvests typically start in mid-September on the lower parts of the vineyards and go all the way into the kind of first decade of October on the higher hill and elevations. And the wines vary quite a bit depending on if the vineyards are located in the more cooler environments, when the wines tend to be more fragrant, more floral, very vibrant on the nose, or in the warmer sites, more southern exposed vineyards, the wines tend to be more, you know, like with a riper, juicier type of stone fruit quality. Now, interestingly enough, although nowadays the wines called Prosecco are based on 85% Glera minimum, there was a time when there was a traditional recipe where Glera was 1/3 of the blend, together with Bianchetta Trevigiana, another local grape, as well as Verdiso. Now, how are these wines made? When we think about Prosecco, we're thinking about a very unique winemaking style called Charmat, or, you know, Metodo Martinotti in Italian, where basically you harvest the grape, crush them, ferment them, and you create a base wine. That base wine sits on the lees typically for a period of time that goes between 2 and 3 months, and then eventually, still in the tank, you know, a second fermentation is ignited by the addition of sugar and yeast, and the wine eventually takes on the well-known bubbly, sparkling character that is so lovely and enjoyable that everybody loves about Prosecco. Now, after this whole process, based on the amount of sugar left in the wines can be characterized by different styles, meaning can be Brut, which is the driest version of Prosecco, extra dry, which is slightly sweeter, but not sweet by any means, and then dry, that can be even sweeter, but again, the wine tends to be more floral, more fruity. It's not so much about sweetness and actual sugar. So the wines I wanted to show you today, it's produced by Villa Sandi. This is a Villa Sandi Valdobbiadene Prosecco Superiore. See, when I pour in the glass, it's going to be a beautiful mousse, fantastic bubbles, just a great aperitif to enjoy really at any moment of the day. Put the wine right here. So when this wine, you see Valdobbiadene, what does Valdobbiadene imply? Valdobbiadene is the name of a village, because when you think about Prosecco as an area, more specifically the DOCG part of the appellation, Prosecco Conegliano Valdobbiadene is an area composed of 15 villages, of which Valdobbiadene is the most important on the eastern side and Conegliano is the most important on the western side. Now, these are only 15 villages. When we look at the larger Prosecco appellation, we're talking about 556 villages. So imagine how much of a difference there's going to be there as far as characteristics of the soils, wines produced, and whatnot. Now, a wine like this that on the label says Valdobbiadene implies that the fruit only comes from the vineyards located in the village of Valdobbiadene. So we are fairly high elevation vineyards. They're very, very steep. So logically, everything is done manually. It takes a lot of work. The vineyards here, they go from east to west. And within Valdobbiadene, we also find the most important Grand Cru of Prosecco, known as Cartizze, which is this cru of 106 hectares divided and owned by different producers. So now when we look at the color of Prosecco, this Prosecco has got a nice straw, you know, a hay color, very, very vibrant, very brilliant in the glass. You know, the bubbles are fairly fine. They come up very, very gently up to the top. And the nose, beautiful, beautiful fragrancy, fantastic freshness, logic, plenty of floral, acacia flower, white flower type of component, but the stone fruit is very common, almost like a white peach, white apricot, but definitely there's plenty of apple and unripe, almost like greenish pear. And on the palate, typical of Prosecco, especially Valdobbiadene, where great vibrancy, acidity is extremely firm on the sides of the gums. The wine has great tension on the mid palate, there's plenty of fruit, this roundness given by the leftover residual sugar in the glass. A fantastic aperitif wine, definitely a great wine to celebrate a Sunday. In alto i cuori, until tomorrow, and restaurant industry be strong. Ciao!